So the crypto shorts are underwater, but will it continue to be the case, or is this a massive trap? We're going to cover a whole lot today. And yes, thank you. This is a great thumbnail. A shout out to the team for creating that. Let's get straight into it. So, of course, everything happened yesterday with the CPI inflation data. It came in at 8.2%, which was 0.1 more than expected. And you have real inflation and CPI inflation. And I think this is quite funny. And then you have this meme over here, which was a CPI at 7.6, and then they slapped us with a 75 basis point rate hike in order to curb that inflation rate, and now we have an 8.2%. So what will the raise be that comes up? And according to the CME group over here, we now have a 96.8% probability that it is going to be a 0.75 raise, and currently 3.2% is at a 100 basis point or 1 basis point rate hike. So let's keep an eye on this over the next coming weeks. I think there's about 3 weeks left before they actually do the raise. And yeah, it's interesting times. We had a bit of a short squeeze over here. So $31 million in Bitcoin short liquidations in just 1 hour. And this is the highest hourly short liquidation level that's happened in over a month. And I'm going to show you the parallels in comparison to what happened about a month ago. Interesting pump that led into a dump, which is why I say it could potentially be a trap. But nevertheless, stay tuned. I will update you as well on the trade ideas that I gave yesterday, the longs, and where you could take profit on those 4 particular coins. So high time frame, the weekly. Now this range continues. If we manage to close above this, on the 2-week chart, if this candle manages to close green, then I would imagine this is going to continue at least for another 3 weeks, stuck within that range. And I really thought that this would be the time that we leave this range, but it doesn't look like it. I think we're going to stay range bound again for a little while longer. And when they do the actual inflation rate raise, then we'll probably see some sort of a reaction again, and maybe that will lead to a breakdown of the range. So if you look at Trader XO and what he says here, I really enjoyed this. He says that high time frame charts, I always pay attention to the wicks for those making comparisons to July 2021 versus now. It's not there for me. So in July, it was obviously a bottom, as you can see the circled area. And he says July 21 wicks equals buyers stepping in and absorbing the sellers, and consequently pay attention to each major high rejection wicks. And you can see, so what he's alluding to here is, of course, the buying pressure. You have big wicks left behind on the monthly chart, and consequently we had a bottom and price kicked on to the upside. Whereas if you look over here, look at the wicks over here. The wicks are getting bigger and bigger, but to the downside, suggesting that pretty much the sellers are not getting absorbed. If anything, the sellers are in control of this market. Now, this is definitely more talking towards the investor or the longer term trader, the swing traders. Short-term traders, we did say there was a potential for a bounce, so we called that one. Long-term, nothing has really changed yet. There's more important levels that need to be taken out. The weekly chart over here with the Bollinger Bands, this will be lifting. I'm going to delete this now because the dash line over here was where I told you all to bring your stop loss down so the trade would at least be closed in profit if there was a bounce, and give the bears a chance to run this to the downside. That didn't happen. Delete. We'll recalibrate on the weekly chart. Let's clean some of this up. We can take those levels out, and then at the end of this week we'll mark out our new range, which is probably going to be an even bigger range. But nevertheless, you know the story, stuck below all the important moving averages and EMAs, which is not a good sign. Then you have the futures chart over here on the S&P 500, massive reaction over here, and this creates an interesting environment. Now the next level that I'm going to be watching for is if there's going to be continuation to the upside over the course of today. If there is, this is the zone that I want to watch. Is this the liquidity that's going to be lying at 3,820 on the S&P 500. Let's see how it reacts over there. There is a possibility that price will go just over that. Maybe it comes even into this box, and then I think it's going to continue back down. But so far, that daily close does look like a very strong candle. And then I did warn you yesterday as well in the show. I said pay attention because it's not over yet for the bears, at least on the DXY chart. There is a potential that, and I haven't moved any of these lines, I absolutely promise you that, and I said watch for this area over here. In case it does turn and show weakness on the DXY, then what you want to see is what happens when it comes down into this zone. Is it going to bounce off this zone? If it loses that, then this is where I would expect a major reaction. But until you lose the gray box at 108, there isn't really a major reversal, just a temporary pullback in the DXY, and then I would still anticipate it's going to continue on higher. So that's the picture of the DXY, which is of course one reason why crypto and stocks managed to bounce. NASDAQ, very, very, very strong daily candle close over here. Let's see what happens if this one manages to continue. I still stick by what I've said in the long term, targeting the key quarterly level at the bottom. You see, it can be frustrating with trading. These things tend to take time. It doesn't always play out immediately. 10-year yield, also, a little bit of a pause over there. We'll keep an eye on this. I just want to extend that a bit. Okay, so still within the trend. Obviously lost the trend in this area, broke back in, continued on bullish. We'll keep an eye on that. And this could be one of those things that could lead to a trap. So you need to keep your eye on the 10-year yield, and that could lead to what would be a bull trap. We had a bear trap, and I wouldn't be surprised if it flipped over into a bull trap at a later stage. You had MAC 10, who shows that 40% of the NASDAQ 100 made new lows today. That's the highest number in 2022. That's not really a good sign, guys. That's not. We're not going back into a bull market. So again, just to be clear, there's a big difference between the short-term long trades that we take and the longer-term picture of the market, health of the market. Okay, VIX by Michael J. Kramer. He's showing over here that we are the white line, and this was the blue line with the 2008 crash. And so far, it's unbelievable how similar this pattern has been, this fractal. It's going almost exact. And what this would be calling for is a bit of a contraction in the VIX leading into December. So all the way into December, if this contracts, that means that would give the market a bit of relief. And then end of the year, this expands rapidly to the upside. And that's where you see the major bottoms within the market at the end of Q4. So downtrend on the 3-day chart coming directly into resistance for Bitcoin. I mean, you're hitting that actual trend right now. So if you did go long on Bitcoin, consider tightening your stop loss or at least taking some profits. And you'll see when I go into the altcoins in a few moments time, the difference. Some of the altcoins look like they have much more room to the upside to go compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it's running out of steam already. So keep an eye on that inverted chart. It does have a 3-day high close over there, but it's come back down. This also closed as a higher low, and now again stuck within that range, consolidating. So I'd expect this area to continue. You need to see proper closes above this level to confirm if it's going to continue into the 12K level. And same thing as what I mentioned yesterday. Next level to clear is $22,500. Hold above that, and then we can start to look for that 28,000 CME gap, but we're not there yet. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to show happened about a month ago, and Alpha BTC is just something to consider, that we had a Bitcoin daily candle just like the one that we had yesterday, but to the up, to the up and then downside only last month. The next day, we saw continuation and then a more than 50% retrace of the entire move. Institutions taking profits and moving back to a discount. And this is what it looks like on the chart. It was this candle over here. So I'm going to zoom in on the daily. So basically, we had a big bullish move like that. We springed off the ground, went all the way into resistance, and then proceeded to sell off completely, more than 50% to the downside, retracing that whole move. And basically, he's saying, watch out that the same thing doesn't happen over here. Continuation to the upside into resistance, possibly at 20,500 level, and then get sent straight back down. So that's something to be careful of. Looking at the RSI over here, it's kind of broken back into trend. trend, and this is where I want to see an ultimate rejection from. If we could have bullish continuation today, I would love to see that. I would definitely close my long positions into that zone over there, at least take some profits, like 1/3 or half the profits off into this area, expecting that there is going to be a rejection from the 20,500 zone, and then you can leave the other half in case it breaks through above this level, targeting higher prices. Remember, I said the only bullish thing that the market has at the moment is looking for a liquidity grab from this zone over here to fill the inefficiency with that sell-off, as well as the momentum oscillators resetting at the bottom and turning back up. Those were pretty much the only bullish cases that we have. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So what led to the short squeeze? Well, if you look over here, you had the aggregated open interest, and then you had the cumulative volume delta on the bottom. So what happens typically is when you have price rising and you have that aggregated open interest dropping off with the cumulative volume delta increasing, that is a signal that there could potentially be a squeeze coming, and that's exactly what happened. So touching on, that's my trade at the moment. I took the near trade, and it looks something like this. I told you that pretty much coming into the range low, you have to bid it at an easy invalidation level over here. So you just put your stop loss below, but that's going to come into resistance at about $3.50. So if you took the near trade with me, which I said on the stream yesterday, right after the stream, I was going to take that. Momentum oscillators are turning up, so it will be interesting to see if it can clear this box. Let's grab our pen. So if it manages to clear through, yeah, I'll probably take 50% profit here in case it turns over. But if it doesn't turn over, then you're looking at a potential push through bounce, and then you're going to meet resistance again at $4.18. That's on near. And then I'll probably look to offload the rest anywhere within this region. Notice this zone over here is also interesting for me, and that would have a nice confluence as the final take profit. So to summarize, TP1 at $3.50, TP2 anywhere between $4.20 and $4.30. That's the way that I'm playing that one. Let's look at the other trades that I gave. Solana broke through the support over here, and I did mention to you yesterday, I said it's a bit too far to the invalidation level, so to go long over here, I think we were around there, is still another 10-15% away to the new lows. So what I told you is wait for a recapture of the support, and therefore this trade is actually still valid. If you can find any way to enter into this trade, I'll have to drop it. I'm not going to go into a deep analysis on this right now. I'll drop it in the Discord group after the show. I'll go on a lower time frame and check this one out for you. But holding above this box over here, you'll be able to enter this trade still looking for upside potential back into the middle of the range, which is about $38, and then at the resistance at 45, which is going to be the top of that range. So still range bound. If Bitcoin continues to be range bound and target higher prices, then these altcoins can really get rallying. MATIC, this was an easy one. It followed exactly according to the little lines that we drew over here, which is pretty impressive. You had deviations on the top, deviations on the top, deviations on the bottom, and I thought this time would be no different. Stop loss was placed over here, entered long on the deviation, targeting towards the mid-range with your first take profit. Next take profit is coming in, so I'll give you those levels. First take profit at 85 cents, second take profit at 96 cents. So this stop, I would definitely move exactly. Actually, I would move this even higher. I'll move the stop literally to the bottom of that candle over there, which is the daily close from yesterday, as well as the daily open. So if you did take the MATIC trade, you shouldn't lose anything on this. You're moving your stop to 77 cents and allowing the Stokes to cross to the upside, and maybe this one can gain some serious momentum. So that one was a fantastic trade. Ethereum, not such a great trade. I didn't take anything on Ethereum. It was a bit of a weird one. It swept the lows over here like quite aggressively. I don't know how you would have managed your risk over here. So I would have been stopped out on that. I didn't take it. And it's coming straight into resistance. So not a great one. That you can see that the other alts are looking much better than the big boys like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum are both coming straight into their resistance zones. So looking at this one over here, again, you had the distributive pattern within the triangle, and I said, I guess we still have to give it the benefit of the doubt that they're holding the range lows, and you need to bid that area. As you can see, it's coming straight into resistance. So the diagonal resistance on Bitcoin that's been holding since around $32,000. That's the level that just got tagged. If I zoom in like this, you can see there, that's the level that just got tagged. Let's extend that a little bit. There you go. So it's right into that level, and you can see it's got a reaction rejecting off of that, which is why I probably would want to at least reduce the risk if I was holding a Bitcoin long. I'm not saying to close it, but at least reduce some of the risk by raising your stop loss into profit or break even. All right, with that being said, yes, trading competition. So the trading competition begins on Monday. Please make sure that you join using one of the links below. So these are the registration links. You can use any one of those, ByBit or BitGet. But if you don't already have an exchange link, then click on one of the links below. It helps to support me, and you get a sign-up bonus that you probably wouldn't have got otherwise. You pretty much have nothing to lose by using those links. So click on that. That will take you through to the page over there where you can register, and then there is $100,000 up for grabs in prizes. And I said to the community yesterday, you don't need to try and win the competition. It's just a great tool to sharpen your skills as a trader when there is an environment or community of other people trading alongside you, and everyone will be chatting in the Discord group, in the trades and analysis group, which is free. Link is also in the description below. Then yeah, have some fun over there. It's great. It's a great environment, and you can sharpen your skills. Okay, Bitcoin with the super Guppy indicator over here. Again, same as what I just showed you on the other chart, coming straight into resistance. This area is going to be tough for it to get through. Let's see what Ethereum's one looks like. Ethereum is also turning red, coming into resistance. So this whole area over here is going to be resistance around the $1,500 level. Yesterday, I mentioned this chart in the daily candle newsletter, and I said that the only bullish scenario would be a sweep of the range lows and then a quick bounce back up, thus trapping short sellers, the green arrow path. And I said, despite me having been mega bearish, I actually believe that there is a good chance that this could happen instead of a straight break to the downside. So there is a lot of alpha in the daily candle newsletter, guys. Have a look in there. It's in the show. I'm obviously improvising in the moment, and sometimes I'm looking at the charts for the first time in the morning. Later on in the day, I expand on my thoughts, sharing exactly what I think is going to happen. Sheldon does the same thing. So have a look at the daily candle newsletter. That's also totally free to join. The link is in the description below. And you had that sweep of the lows. I put the red dotted line over here. I said that if you saw any daily close underneath this dotted line, that would be your signal to immediately go short, because now you've closed below the range low, and that means we're going to break down massively in the leading days. This was a bigger bounce than I personally expected, to be honest with you, but I said you have to bid this level, and off it went. So next zone to watch out on the Bollinger Bands, you can see they're still very tight, and this top Bollinger Band is coming in at 20,200, which also matches up with the middle of this range. So I do think this is going to be a resistance area, and you should definitely consider taking some profits within that zone. All right. Here we have this was the other chart that I had on the 4 hour. Again, just re-emphasizing the TP1, TP2 zone, which I gave as a long scenario. And I said pretty much TP2 would be the liquidity zone if it even manages to get there. TP1 is this area which is coming into resistance. I think that's it. I think that summarizes everything. Probably not much more to harp on. You guys have got this. Have a great day. Have a look in the description below again. Give this video a like. I would truly appreciate it. If it is of any value to you, take just a second out of your day to give it a like. Let me know your comments in the comment section. If you have any thoughts, if you want me to look at anything differently, let me know there. And then again, the competition links are below. So that brings us to the end, guys. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantastic weekend. Let's see, maybe this weekend is going to pump, and then the next week is probably going to lead into lower prices. So have fun out there and trade safely. I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers for now.